Hey everyone, today I want to show you how to make a new and improved black and white photograph. Hello and welcome to Luminar Coffee Break. I'm your host, Angela Andrieux, and today we're going to be talking about black and white photography. I want to show you a different way to create a black and white as an alternative to using Luminar AI's black and white tool. I want to take a moment to say hello to Jose. I'm glad you're able to be here today. And anyone else who's watching, today we're going to be using the mood tool and a LUT to create a black and white. So before I get too far, I want to go ahead and put the link to the LUTs that I'm using into the chat. And you guys can also find it in the description for this YouTube video. So I hope you guys go and download the set of free black and white LUTs. They're really cool and they should be really cool. Hello, Joseph. Good to see you too. All right, so I've got an image that I captured in Sedona a few weeks ago, and I want to convert this to a black and white. I'm going to do a couple of really quick preliminary things here, and I'm going to start with the Enhance AI, pull up that Accent AI quite a bit. It's opening up the shadows, pulling down the highlights, popping the color, and I'm going to use a little bit of Sky Enhancer that's going to darken down those blues, add a bit of emphasis to those clouds, and make the image just a little bit better. We also have a lot of empty space up here at the top, so I'm going to crop this using Composition AI, and I'm going to turn this into a 16:9, so more towards a panoramic shape. I think that's good. I might even pull a little bit in from this left corner. There we go. And to go ahead and commit that crop, I can just close the Composition AI tool. Okay, from there I want to go down to the Structure tool. We'll add a pop of structure that's just going to create some contrast, and in those midtones, it looks really nice, adds a little bit of appearance of detail. And now we're going to go on to our black and white conversion. Okay, so normally what we would do is go here to the black and white tool. And once we convert it to a black and white, it's going to be kind of a flat, basic black and white. And you have these luminance tools that you can use to modify how that black and white is represented. But I'm going to give you an alternative to this. This is definitely the easier route. But if you have trouble getting the tonalities that you want out of your black and white, this other method might be exactly what you're looking for. So I'm going to reset that, close that up, and go down to my mood tool. And in here we can choose a LUT. What I want to do is bring that amount up to all the way to 100. That way we're going to see the full amount of that LUT, and then click this Choose LUT List. Now if we go down this list, everything in here is actually a color LUT. So we want to load one up that's a black and white. I'm going to go to Load Custom Lut File, and that's where you guys are going to find the LUTs that I just sent you the link for. You can also find it in the description of this video and download these particular LUTs. I'm going to go with this one, BW Landscapes 1, and then click Open and apply that to my image. You can see it's a nice, rich black and white, and it gives us a much higher contrast image than what we started with the black and white tool. Now, as we go back up here, if we go back to the black and white tool, all you had were these few sliders here under the luminance tool. If you clicked over to saturation, that would actually bring back color. Instead, we're going to go to the color tool because technically this is still a color image. We just added that black and white LUT. So every single slider that we have here in the color tool, we can actually use in our black and white image. So I'm going to switch over to the saturation. Actually, I'm going to switch to the luminance, excuse me, and that's similar to what we had in the black and white tool. And from there, we can darken down what was blue, and that's darkening down that sky. We can adjust those reds, bring those up maybe a little bit, adjust those oranges, yellows, bring that down a little, and play a little bit with our greens. And you can see how much more depth that's adding to the image. Well, in addition to our luminance, we also have our hue and our saturation. I'm going to start with hue and adjust some of these reds, yellows, and oranges. Now you can see that that's not having a whole lot of effect on the image right there for the reds, but take a look at the oranges, and especially how that's working in this transition area down here, and same with our yellows. It's actually going to pull back on some of those details we have in some of those brighter areas, which is really, really cool. Now, in addition to be able to work with our hue, we also have the saturation, and again, we can increase or decrease some of those tones and really bring this in and modify it where we want it to go. Once we have our color channels here dialed in, you can go back up to the light tool, make any final adjustments here with your highlights. Maybe bring up those shadows a little bit. Even add a little bit of smart contrast. And if you really want to go more in depth, you can go down here. We have our super contrast, which is brilliant. Let's pull out that highlights contrast and adjust this to bring back a little bit more detail in those highlight areas. And you also have color harmony because, again, this is a color image. All of these color tools are still accessible in a black and white image, and it lets you really dial in exactly what you want to get from those tones. So if you're interested in giving this a try, make sure you grab that collection of free LUTs. The link is in the description, so I hope you guys enjoy those. It's always fun to get a little giveaway. And let me know in the comments what you guys think of this technique. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give us a thumbs up here on YouTube, and we will see you at the next coffee break. Bye, everybody.